everybody. Can you all hear me and see me? Can you let me know in the chat? This is the first time I'm going live on YouTube, and to top it off, I'm using a laptop I've had for 2 days. So please let me know if you can see and hear me okay, if the sound is all right, if it's too loud, anything like that, please let me know. Hi everyone. Oh, there's lots of people here. Thank you so much for coming. I was so worried nobody would come. Yes, thank you so much everyone. Right, so just a couple of quick things. I'm not the most tech savvy person in the world, so if there is anything wrong, just let me know in the chat. I have got some notes down here so that I don't forget to tell you any important information about the crochet along. So if I'm looking over here while I'm talking, that's why. So yeah, Tatiana is from Portugal. Oh, amazing. Yeah, let me know in the chat where in the world you're watching me from, because I know quite a few of your names from the Facebook group, but I would love to know where you're watching in the world from and what time it is there, because it's 7 p.m. here in the UK and it is absolutely roasting and muggy here today. So I am a bit of a hot, sweaty mess. So I apologise for how shiny I am. Right. So what are you doing? See, first mess up already as I got rid of my notes. Very hot, yeah. Hampshire, Spain. Oh, wow. Yeah, Wiltshire. Oh, amazing. Oh, it's so nice that like people from around the world watch me and follow me. It's amazing. Like social media can be quite damaging, but I just love how much of a community that crochet has and what like a worldwide community that we have. Right, okay, so just a couple of things to say before because I'm going to edit this down eventually into a video for YouTube. So if you are watching this let me say that again. So I'm going to edit this live stream down into a more condensed version to get rid of all of my waffle, because we all know what I'm like from my podcasts, just so that it's a bit more streamlined. And then what I will do is put that recording up at the end of this recording has finished. So if you need to pop off in the middle of the live stream, then that's okay. You'll be able to go and catch up on all of the information. And there is going to be a flash giveaway at some point in the live stream. I haven't quite decided when it's going to be. I'm just going to pick the right moment. So just be ready at your keyboard to just say me in the chat when you're ready, when I announce the giveaway, okay? And that will be a giveaway for a free pattern. Right, I'm going to start properly now. California, someone else from California, Oxfordshire, Nottingham, UK. Are you West Yorkshire too? Hello, Meme. How are you? Missed your Chloe. Yes, you used to come to my TikTok lives. I know. I had some issues with TikTok. TikTok was driving me up the wall, so I've kind of left TikTok and come over to YouTube now, and I'm a lot happier. So, right. So I'm going to start with the actual live stream now with all of the information about the crochet along. Just let me know. Hi, Abby. Yeah, I'm West Yorkshire as well. So yeah, so I'm going to start the actual recording now. So I'll get the blanket that you were all here for. I hope you're all here for it anyway. So this is the blanket. This is the Hexadaisy blanket that we're going to be talking about in today's live stream. So the pattern is going live next Saturday, the 24th of June at about midday, whenever I get around to putting it up. I'm aiming for about midday. And then the crochet along will kick off at 6 o'clock that evening. So you've got a good 6 hours to get familiar with the pattern, maybe do a gauge swatch and things like that. So in this live stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some details about the actual blanket, about yarn, about sort of what the pattern itself entails. And then I'll go into the crochet along stuff a bit after so that I can just be clear with what I'm trying to say in this live stream. And I am a little bit nervous. I never used to get nervous on TikTok lives, but I've got to say, knowing that this is going to be recorded and put up on my YouTube channel forever, it's making me a little bit sweaty. So, right, get my notes back up. Right, we've talked about all of that already. So yeah, so the blanket. So I'm sure that a lot of you have seen this on social media. So let's get right in there. This laptop has a good webcam, so I'm hoping you can see it in all its glory. So we've got these hexagons in the middle. The daisies are in the middle of the hexagons, and then we've got this same white colour being used for the petals and around the edge of the hexagons. So I used 15 colours in this blanket, I'll explain, but you need 14 colours for this blanket. You'll need a yellow, which I used Stylecraft Special Double Knit in Mustard. And then the white yarn that I used is the shade Cream in James C. Brett Double Knitting with Merino, which is an acrylic yarn with just a little bit of merino wool in it. It's a bit softer than Stylecraft Special Double Knit. So you can use Stylecraft Special Double Knit in white or cream instead of this yarn, because this yarn is a little bit more expensive than Stylecraft Special because it has got that merino in it. But I find that Stylecraft Special Double Knit in white is a bit too stark white, almost a bit blue for me. And I find the cream is a little bit yellow for me, my personal taste. And this is a lovely, the cream from the James C. Brett is just a lovely off-white. I don't know if you can see, it's not quite stark white, but it's not quite a yellowy cream. So then for the hexagons, I've used 12 colours that I tried to get quite a summery vibe from, but I didn't want those bright in your face neon colours that a lot of people use in summer things, because neon colours aren't really me. I'm a bit more muted, I'm a bit more vintage inspired. So that's kind of where the colour palette came from for this. So these are all shades of Stylecraft Special Double Knit apart from this pale blue, which is just because I had it in my stash. It's quite close to Stylecraft Special in Duck Egg and Cloud Blue. So you could absolutely replace this if you want to just use Stylecraft for this blanket. So the blanket itself is made of 50 hexagons and 8 half hexagons. And the 8 half hexagons straighten the two edges. Let me move back a little bit. I'll go back as far as I can so we can see it in its glory. So you can see that those half hexagons have straightened two sides of the blanket, but the other two sides have got this lovely like zigzag edge, which I love. This is my preference for doing hexagon blankets, is to just straighten the two sides rather than all four, because I think then you got my blanket stuck under my chair. So yeah, so that is the whole blanket. So it measures, because I know some people ask me for measurements. So the blanket measures 40 inches across. Where is it? 40 inches across this way, and then 52 inches that way. I can't quite get it in now. I've come back to my desk again. So yeah, so you don't need to use these colours. You don't even need to use double knit yarn if you don't want to. But if you do use a different yarn, then your quantities will vary. Like if you use a fingering weight yarn, your blanket will be much smaller. And if you use like a worsted weight yarn, it will be much bigger and you will need more meterage, if that makes sense. So yeah. I have put all of the details down in the description box, written out for you, and all of the common questions that I've been asked about this crochet along. So if there is anything you need me to go over, then either ask me over in the chat or down in the comments if you're watching this a little bit later. So I'm just going to catch up with the chat a little bit. Oh, lots of love for the blanket. Oh, hi, Sandy. Oh, welcome to the Mima Mix community. Yeah, Linda, yeah, I agree. Softer colours for me are better. However, one of my testers made this in neon green and neon pink and did stripes. And oh my goodness, it is beautiful. I'm going to ask her to post it in the Mima Makes Crochet Club Facebook group, because it is so lovely. And I'm really excited to see, did people use different colours for this blanket? Let me know in the chat whether you're planning on using different colours to the ones that I'm using, because I'm really excited to see this. And I'd really love to see as well, if someone is not going to do daisies, is just going to do like flowers with like maybe pink or blue petals. Like if you're doing anything like that, let me know in the chat, because I would really love to know. And then I think that was all of the blanket particulars. So we can go on to the pattern now, unless anyone has any questions at this point. I haven't seen any pop up in the chat just yet. There is going to be a little Q&A session that can be about the crochet along, the pattern, the blanket, crochet in general, life, whatever you want, right at the end of this live stream. I'm using it. So Julie has said, I'm using all the colours you listed. It arrived last week and it's been taunting me, lol. Yeah, I totally get that. When you buy new yarn and you really want to use it, but you're like, oh, I need to finish this other project first, it does just look at you across the room and it tempts you and you're just like, oh, but I could just do a little swatch, and then it just spirals. Totally get that. Linda, the live has stopped. Is anybody else's screen paused? I have quite a good internet connection here because my partner's quite a techie person, so I was hoping that it would be okay. I'm planning on using greens, pinks and greys. Oh, that sounds lovely, Abby. Sorry, where can I see the listed colours? So if you, there should be a description, just like if you were watching a normal YouTube video, you know, where you can click like see more and it pops up the description. So there's all links and stuff in there and everything is listed. Linda, maybe the internet, thunder and lightning. Yeah, we've had some heavy rain on and off and threatened thunderstorms today, so Bellatrix, I'm using different colours because I'm stash busting and trying to use up what I already have. I hope it works out okay. Honestly, I think this blanket would be great in any colours because you've got these cream petals and the cream around the edging. You don't need to worry about what colours are next to each other because it's got that white in between, or the cream, I guess it's cream, that white in between. So you could go crazy and do every hexagon a different colour. You could go mad, you could stash bust, you could use up mini skeins if you've got mini skeins. Like, there's so many possibilities, I feel, because of that spacing of the white. So if you're not very confident in choosing colours for projects, a project like this where they're all separated by a neutral colour, usually everything looks great in them. And giant granny squares, any colour looks good in a giant granny square. So, right. Okay, just let me know, Sandy, if you can't find that information, and what I will do is I'll go and find a link and I'll literally pop it in the chat for you. Okay. So I said about the pattern is going to be released at 12 p.m. and I will put the links up to it on sort of the 3 platforms that I'm sort of focusing on at the minute, and that's the Mima Makes Crochet Club Facebook group, and there is a link down in the description if you're not in our Facebook group. I will pop a link up on Instagram as well in my stories, and I will also put one in the community tab on YouTube. So whichever platform is your preference, you will be able to follow the crochet along there. I will put up the links for not just the pattern on release, but every weekly post is going to be posted in those 3 places for the crochet along. So just basically pick a platform and watch it. And yeah, I will try and do that at everyone in the Mima Makes Crochet Club group if there's anything important happening though, so that I know that because I know some people just didn't know about the live stream until I was like yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm moving it to tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not just focusing too much on one platform, because I know some people are only in the Facebook group, some people are only on Instagram, etc. So yeah. Right, so let's talk a little bit more about what the actual pattern entails. So it's quite a long pattern, but don't worry, it's because it's full of photos. So it's like 20, I think it's 28 pages, but like the way that I've written the pattern is to make it approachable for any skill level. So if you're a really experienced crocheter, you could probably just use my labeled photos. You wouldn't even need to read the pattern. If you're a beginner crocheter, what I've done is I've actually broken each round down into step-by-step bullet points of how to my brain's gone. So I've broken each round into step-by-step bullet points, so that, you know, when you read a pattern normally, it's just a wall of text and you're like, each round is just a wall of text and there's not a lot of punctuation. And I think sometimes patterns like that can be quite daunting when you first start reading patterns. So what I wanted from this pattern was something that was easier to read. And that's why I've sort of spread out those instructions a little bit more. So it would, I did have a screen to share, but that isn't a feature on YouTube Live, and I thought it was. I was going to show you the pattern. But yeah, so basically on one side of the pattern is the written instructions, and on the other side I've put a photo for every single round, and for a lot of it for every single step within that round, and it's labelled with the stitches. And my tester And my testers and my tech editor both said that it was a really clear pattern to follow. So if you've not used a written crochet pattern before, this is probably a really good one to start because it is broken down like that. And I do use abbreviations, but the glossary is really clear, and I've made sure that everything is in that glossary. So you can see, oh, it says SC, then you can go to the glossary and like, oh, it means single crochet. So that's kind of why I did that, is I wanted it to be accessible to a lot of different skill levels. And because I want Mima Makes to be a supportive community where we can help each other, and I can help you maybe improve your crochet skills and achieve your goals. And I think by making patterns a little bit more accessible to the generation of crocheters that have learned from YouTube and they can't read patterns, I think trying to help them along the way a little bit is what I want to do. So yeah, and I will of course offer pattern support forever for this pattern. Essentially, for as long as this is out and available to be paid, I will offer pattern support. You can either message me on social media, you can put a post up on the Mima Makes Crochet Club Facebook group, or I have included my pattern support email address within the pattern itself if you want some one-to-one support, and that is free. There's no cost to that. I just want people to be able to reach their crochet goals. So if you do have any issues with the pattern, just let me know. Let me just see if there's anything else I wanted to say about the pattern itself. Yes, there's lots that I've not talked about. Okay, so the pattern is going to be available in two versions. There's going to be a UK terms version and a US terms version. And these have been gone through by multiple people to make sure all the terms are correct. So you can pick which terminology you prefer and just follow that pattern. You get both patterns as a bundle when you purchase this pattern. So the way the crochet along is going to run is that the crochet along is free. You don't need to pay anything to enter the crochet along, but to join in the crochet along, you will need to purchase a copy of the pattern. But I am going to be offering a discount for the duration of the crochet along, and I'm giving away quite a few copies as well at various points this week. So like I said, there'll be one give. I've already given away one to someone, and I can't remember why, but I have given away one to someone already. Oh yeah, because they named the Hexadaisy Blanket, so they are getting a free copy of the pattern. And then someone in this live stream is going to get a free copy of the pattern. And then tomorrow I'm going to put up some giveaways on Instagram and in the Mima Makes Crochet Club Facebook group, so you can win a free copy as well. Because although I'm trying to turn this into a business, I don't want anyone to feel left out. So I am going to be offering a discount, like I said. The pattern is a PDF download, so it's a downloadable pattern, and it will be available on Etsy and Ravelry to purchase, so you can pick whichever platform you prefer. Was that everything? So yeah, I think that was everything I wanted to say about the pattern. The rest is all about the crochet along. So has anyone got any questions about patterns or pattern reading or anything like that? Let me have a little catch up. Sandy, I'm only on YouTube. Yes, Sandy, that's totally fine. I will be posting the weekly posts for the crochet along. So every week on a Saturday, I will be putting up a post with this week you need to make this many hexagons in this colour. And that will be put up in the community tabs on YouTube. So a lot of people don't know about the community tab on YouTube. So if you go to my channel and then scroll along to community, on there are, it's almost like Facebook posts on YouTube. So I'm basically just going to be copy and pasting the same post across YouTube, Instagram, and into the Mima Makes Crochet Club Facebook group. So let's have a look. Linda, I have loads of colours, so as things go, and I downloaded a hexagon grid to do some colouring before. That's a really good idea. I should totally have done that, because I usually just make up the colour arrangement as I go. So maybe I should do a bit more planning with my next blanket. I'm just going to have a little drink while I read. Yes, Sandy. So what I'm going to do as well when I post the link to the pattern is I have watched a few YouTube tutorials to vet them to see, because I've struggled to make a video tutorial on how to read a pattern. So, but I've seen some great ones out there. So what I'm going to do is when I put out the link to the pattern, I will also put out a link to some YouTube tutorials of how to read a pattern. Because there's a really good one by Edie Ekman that I like, that I will probably put along with that pattern. And if you do have any issues, you can email me or put a post up in the Meme Makes Crochet Club. So Harry will be my first written pattern piece. Looking forward to it. Yeah, a few people have said they're going to try it, and I feel like I think joining in a crochet along like this is probably a really good way to learn how to read a pattern, because you've got the support of the rest of the people that are maybe a bit more experienced with pattern reading. So even if I'm potentially not available that day, someone else in the group, there are some really great crocheters in the Mima Makes Crochet Club Facebook group that have a lot of knowledge, and some of the projects they make, like Linda in particular, she's amazing with granny squares. So if anyone is happy to help anyone else out in the Meme Makes Crochet Club, I'm always totally grateful when I open a post and someone's already answered it. So yeah, Marie Swari, I'm sorry if I've said your name wrong. Do we have to use the colour suggested by you, or can we use our own colour choices? Absolutely, please use your own colour choices. I have put up a discount code for woolwarehouse.co.uk. I don't earn any money from that. Absolutely, I don't earn any money from that. The only thing I will say is the crochet along is running over 12 weeks, and every week will be a different color. That's what I'm sort of going to talk about next, is every week will be a different color that I've chosen, and what that color reminds me of, sort of the inspiration behind it. So I've not used it in this blanket, but say my hexagon was yellow, I would say, oh, that's because it reminds me of sunflowers. And I would put a picture that I'd taken of a sunflower, for example, and that's why this week you need to make 5 hexagons in yellow. It's a bit more in-depth than that. I've put a lot of time into it. So yeah, I would recommend choosing 12 colours if you want to follow along week by week with the instructions and follow the same layout and things. But you can absolutely use more or less as you want and just make that number of hexagons that week. Anyone that's using other colours as well, I'm a very colour oriented person. I love colour. Different colours mean different things for me. I'm one of those people that associates colour with like objects and stuff as well. So because colour is so important to me, that's kind of what I wanted to share with the crochet along, because it's not like a crochet along where you're doing a different square every week or whatever. I wanted it to be a colour oriented one and sort of share sort of how I get inspired by colour palettes and why I choose the colours that I choose, essentially. So that's kind of where I was going with the crochet along, because when I started this blanket, I didn't intend it to be a crochet along, and it kind of developed into that along the way because I had so much interest and I had a lot of fun with our last crochet along, and I just wanted to do something a bit more in depth for this one. So yeah, so that's essentially what's going to happen, but I will go into more details in a minute. Marie Swari, I'm from India, so yes, you can absolutely participate. Anyone, anywhere in the world can participate. The post will be going up at 6 p.m. British Standard Time, not British Standard Time, British Summer Time, on a Saturday for 15 weeks total. So just keep your eye out for those posts on a Saturday, and you can absolutely join in. Like I said earlier, the crochet along is free, the pattern is paid. It's going to be £5 plus VAT, full price, but there will be a discount to bring that price down, and you don't have to pay VAT if VAT isn't valid in your country. So in the UK, we have to pay 20% VAT. So when I say £5, it's actually £6 here. But there's going to be, I'm thinking about a 20 or 25% discount for you as well for the duration of the crochet along. So even if you can't join in with week 1, you can join in a few weeks' time, and you don't have to stay. You don't also have to join in the crochet along. You could rush through and make the blanket in 3 weeks if you wanted to, or you could spread it out a bit longer because summer is quite a busy time for people as well. So just because I'm putting up these posts doesn't mean you're going to fall behind if you don't keep up with the posts either. We've got some more messages in the chat. Sandy, I love your colours, so I'm going to try and get them. Yeah, Wendy and Stylecraft. Yeah, and I think a lot of the acrylic yarns in the UK, they have some quite colour matches in different brands and stuff, because I've substituted some colours of Hayfield Bonus out for Stylecraft Special before. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I'm always, although unfortunately I don't have any yarn shops near me, and also as a lot of you know, I'm chronically ill and I'm in a wheelchair, so I can't go out without my partner's help. I do have to order most of my yarn online. I've got a Hobbycraft down the road, but again, that's a chain. So yeah, if you can buy from your local yarn shop, please do, because they always appreciate any business they can get, especially at this time when everyone is online shopping. So yeah, go down to your local yarn shop if you can. Sandra, I love the last crochet along, still sewing in those dreaded ends. Yeah, so I think I put it in the background because I made this. It is now, the crocheting is finished. It's 7 foot wide, giant granny square blanket. Haven't weaved any ends in yet. It's just sat in a pile. It's too hot. I probably would have done it if it was a different time of year. It's too hot at the minute to have a blanket on my lap and sat sewing ends in. No, like I've got this sort of crumpled up on the desk in front of me so it's not on my lap. So yeah, I'm so excited to share this pattern with you all. Honestly, like I started developing this pattern in November. It was always intended to be my first pattern, and it just sort of it took a lot longer than I thought, and there was a lot of different it's gone through a lot of different iterations with different joins and different colours, and I'm finally happy with it now. And then the pattern took a little while because then it was testing, and then I had a tech editor, and so yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I'm really, really, really excited to share this with other people, and I know a lot of people have loved it online, so yeah, I just want to share the crochet love with everyone. £6 is a bargain. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, crochet patterns are often a lot cheaper than knitting patterns, and I don't ever want to exclude anyone because of price. So I'm not going to be one of those people that puts their patterns up for like £15. I want to be inclusive and supportive, and I want this to sort of foster a bit of a supportive community, I guess. Josephina has asked for subtitles. I have no idea how to do that. Let me just have a little look to see if I can put subtitles up during a live stream. I've got no idea. I can afterwards. Nope, that is not manage. Maybe it's in manage. This is my first time using, it says I don't have access to the feature. I'm so sorry, hun. So it says I don't have access to that feature. I don't know why. So if you would let Josephina know that I will upload it afterwards and there will be subtitles, but I don't know how to add them during the live stream. And if I live stream again, which I'm hoping to do on semi-regular basis, I will look up how to do it before then. So yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Sandy, the yarn shop is on a mobile home park. Oh wow, that's so cool. That's amazing. Yeah, I would love to go to a local yarn shop in a mobile home. Yeah. Right, let's have a look to see if there's anything I have missed from the crochet along. So yeah, so week 15 of the crochet along is the 30th of September. So that and most of September is joining and border. I think the first week in September is the last week of the actual crocheting everything, and then you've got 2 weeks to join and then a week to do the border. I tried to spread it out because a lot of people get very busy over the summer, and when the weather is hot, you don't really want to be crocheting a blanket in acrylic, do you? So I didn't want to make it too short. So yeah, let's have a look. So yeah, so there is that. This is a really good point, actually. So there is a provisional timetable up in the files within the Mima Makes Crochet Club Facebook group with all the provisional dates for each week. What I'm going to do before the crochet along, I will make a checklist that you can download and print so that you don't miss anything. So you know what week is happening, when there's video calls and live streams and stuff. So keep your eye out for that. I will put that up this week, as well as the final timetable. And I know, Sandy, you said you were only on Josephina. Josephina is deaf, that's why. Oh, I'm so sorry, Josephina. Let me have another look in my settings, because I talk about being disability accessible and all of this all of the time, so it's going to annoy me if I can't have subtitles on. Toggle timestamps, pop out chat, moderation, participants. Goodness, I cannot find the channel dashboard. Right, I'm hoping you can still see me because it's gone off the screen. Community, literally advanced settings, maybe. Video language, yes. Maybe I need to put in the language and it will auto-generate it because I haven't put in what language this is. Okay. Right. Okay. Is she now able to, I've changed it. So I have changed it to UK language. So I'm hoping that means that you'll be able to access captions now, but I'm not sure if that will have fixed it or not. So I apologise if not. I will definitely make sure I upload this with captions though for you, Josephina. So yeah, I am really, really sorry. I feel really bad about this now. It's something that I just didn't even consider, and often that is the case when it's a disability. As someone without a disability doesn't even think about it. I've learned a lot about disability in the last couple of years. So yeah, I do really apologise, Josephina. Let me see what else. So we talked about checklists. You don't have to go the same speed. Details. Yes. So kick-off party. My partner is deaf. Tap and separate. Yeah. Okay, that's really good advice. Thank you, Tori. So kick-off party. So I don't know how well this will work, but the plan is that on the day that the first week of the Crochet Along post goes up, so that's going up at 6 p.m. next Saturday, 24th of June, at 7 p.m. I'm hoping that we can all have a group video call and start off our blankets together. I won't be doing this blanket because I'm working on my next design that is super secret hush hush, but I'm hoping that we can all have a video call because I'd really love to talk to a lot of you that we message on the group and stuff, and I'd really like to talk to you face to face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make something called a Facebook room. So what that means is in the group I will post a link, and that will take you to almost like Zoom, and we can essentially, let me just put this on silent, and we can essentially talk to each other in a room on a group, like a group call that's a bit like Zoom essentially. And there is a max of 50 people, but I doubt 50 people will turn up to do a live call. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, I will be posting the link at 7 p.m. next Saturday. So yeah, come and chat with me and show me your yarn that you're going to be using your blanket, and show me some of your projects, and just let's have a chit chat about crochet, because live streams are all well and good, and you can interact with me, and I can talk back to you, but you can't talk to me, if you see what I'm saying. Like, the chat is just not the same. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the kickoff party. And depending on if that goes really well, I'm going to do one in the middle and one at the end of the Crochet Along as well. If it doesn't go very well, they may turn into live streams instead. I'm not the most tech savvy person in the world, but I've learned a lot in the last few months. So yeah, joining late, but I'm here. Hi Jade, no worries, being late. I've essentially gone through all of the information that's down in the description, so you should be able to see that, and that will just catch you up on anything you've missed. Bellatrix, there's me checking to see my phone. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I thought I'd put my phone on silent and it was my sister messaging our family group chat. So I disagree with you, Mima. Really, the kick-off party 50 is too little, Tatiana. Yeah, I mean, I was worried about that, but the lovely Helen, who's a member, I don't think she's here, but she's a member of the Facebook group, said that if there is more than 50, we can use her Zoom account. And if there is more than 50 and there's more than 50 that want to keep coming, I will get a Zoom subscription, and we will do it on Zoom, because Zoom, you don't need to download anything, do you? It's just you do it in your browser. So that's essentially what we're going to do. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jill. So that's everything about the kickoff party. So I hope that clarifies things. And essentially, halfway through the Crochet Along, I'm either going to have another video call or another live stream, depending on which goes best, essentially. I will keep you all updated on that. So with the interacting with everyone, so in the Mima Makes Crochet Club Facebook group, you are absolutely welcome to post as many photos, as many questions, anything you like about crochet, this blanket, anything crochet related, essentially. And I would really love to see all your blankets come together. So if you're comfortable putting up photos in that group, or even on social media, use the hashtag Hexadaisy CAL, that's down in the description as well, so that I can see your blankets come together, because I'm so excited to see all the different colours. So I think that is everything, and it's just prompted me to not forget about our giveaway. So flash giveaway, I'm going to give away a free copy of the pattern. So anybody that wants to win a free copy of the pattern, just type me in the chat and send it. And I'm going to close my eyes and point to someone's name. That's how we're going to do this. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes to put me in. I appreciate the hashtag, Tatiana. I'll just give you a little bit longer. Everyone only answer Sandy. Come on, stop saying me, me, me. Just one entry, thank you. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to shut my eyes now and point. Is everybody ready? So we have got Bellatrix. Bellatrix, you won. You won a free pattern. Well done. Congratulations. So I'm going to just pop my email in the chat. So if you can bob me an email, I will add you to my list of people who are getting a pattern on the day for free. And in your email, just let me know if you want the US or the UK terms pattern. Congratulations, Bellatrix. There are going to be more giveaways, like I said. So that wasn't the only giveaway. That was my giveaway, as I'm sorry that I had to cancel yesterday's live stream because of tech issues. So yeah, congratulations. I think that was everything that I wanted to say. So has anybody got any questions about the blanket, the crochet along, about life, about crochet, about knitting? Would you like to see some projects I have on the go? Just let me know in the chat what you want to do next, because I'm quite happy to stay on live for the next 25 minutes until 8 o'clock if people want me to answer any questions. So don't think I've ever won anything before. Oh yeah, I won my first giveaway just before Christmas, and it was some Christmas fluffy yarn. And I think I cried. I'd never won anything in my life. I'd entered raffles and all sorts, and I never won anything. And yeah, so I do understand what it's like winning. So yay, congratulations, Bellatrix. Like I said, bob me an email. Really appreciate it. Congratulations. What about a cardigan? Linda, you are a little bit psychic. So I said on my Instagram stories I was absolutely not going to be designing clothes anytime soon, and I might have designed 2 cardigans that needs crocheting. One's half crocheted. I don't want to share them just yet in case it changes, and I always end up getting flooded with messages like, oh my god, where did you get that pattern? I'm like, I'm sorry, it's mine, it's in development. But I have got one I am happy to share, and it's not my pattern actually. I'm really, really pleased with how it's coming out. So if you watched my podcast, you might have seen me talk about the Copenhagen cardigan and this yarn, which is Drops Baby Merino in the colour Blush, which is a 4-ply fingering weight yarn. And I was going to make the Copenhagen cardigan with it. I bought the pattern and I don't recommend it. I don't want to like poo-poo on someone else's design, but it's not a very user-friendly pattern, and the get engaged was really difficult, so I gave up on it. And instead, I really recommend the pattern I'm using instead. It's called the Candy Pullover by Nomad Stitches, and I will pop that in the chat so you can see it. Candy Pullover by Nomad Stitches, and it is beautiful. So it's a pullover. So let me just make sure this is on the right way, because I'm going to put on, it's a round yoke. So that is how it works. So I'm just going to put it on for you. So yeah, this is what this has been my relaxed crochet. And can you see that lace? How gorgeous is that lace yoke? It's so pretty. I'm going to get really warm having this on, but how gorgeous is that? I really, really love it. It's my first crocheted pullover, and I really, really love it. Like, I can't put this down. I'm using a 2.5mm hook, so it's taking me quite a long time to get around the yoke now. But yeah, I really, really love it, and I 100% recommend this pattern and that designer. In fact, I bought one of her other patterns as well, and like, they are so clear and well written, and it's color coded. Like, I'm making a size 6. So that means I follow the yellow instructions, and that's just such a good way of doing it, and I might steal that from my pans. But yeah, so that is what I'm working on in a minute. I'm going to take it off though, because I'm going to boil. So let's have a look, see if we had any other questions. Let me scroll back. So Sandy, when did I first start crocheting? I started crocheting in November 2010. I was 19. I was taking a break from uni for some mental health problems, and crochet kind of saved my mental health a bit. It gave me something to focus on, and I became obsessed with crochet blankets very quickly. My first project was a crochet blanket. So yeah, and then I started putting out designs at the start of this year. I think it was the end of February, something like that. So I'm a baby designer. I started posting on social media in October, and my YouTube channel started in February. So I'm quite new to all of this still, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying getting to know everybody. So yeah. Jules, only one question. Do we have to wait one more week to start? Yeah, Jules, yeah, you do. I'm sorry. Yeah. Because, right, the pattern, I need to do I've had multiple people go through it, but I just want to go through it one more time myself and make sure everything is the way I want it to be, because this pattern has been such a long time coming and I put so much work into it. I want it to be perfect for you. So yes. Where are we? I was watching one starting from the neck down. Wow. Yeah, thank you for all of your beautiful comments. Honestly, if you want to crochet clothes, Nomad Stitches, her designs are beautiful. Really, really beautiful. If I could share my screen, I'd just show you her Ravelry shop. Like, I could just live there. It's so nice. Tatiana, I have one issue. I bought a pattern a few months back, paid on PayPal, but then I had to send a screenshot as they couldn't pick it up. Concerned this will happen again. I will make payment tomorrow. Tatiana, you can't pay yet, hun. So what will happen is it will go up on Etsy, and then you will be able to buy through Etsy. So when the pattern goes up at 12 p.m. on the 24th of June, I'll put up a link. So if you go through that link and go through Etsy, you can then make a PayPal payment through that, and they will then email you a link to download your pattern. So Etsy do it completely, not me. So don't be rushing out to email me with your PayPal details, because that's not how it's going to work, unfortunately. If you try and send a PayPal to that email address, that won't work. I don't have a PayPal account attached to that. It needs to be through Etsy or Ravelry. Sorry, hun. Yeah, don't worry about it, Tatiana. I hope that's helped clear things up. I know that a lot of people that follow me don't speak English as their first language, and I know I talk quite quickly and I can get quite muddled with my words. So if there is ever anything that I'm not clear about, just ask me to clarify. I'm always happy to do that, because I know I talk fast. I'm sure it will be perfect. Yeah, thank you. Ravelry, yeah, Ravelry or Etsy. I have written all of this down in the description, like I said. So has anyone else got any other questions, or shall we have a projects parade? Shall I go and grab my giant granny blanket from over there, and we can have a look at that, because it is ginormous. So just give me a second to grab it. All right. It's massive. Absolutely ginormous. Move back as far as my chair will go. Like, I can't even get all of this on the screen. It is ginormous. It's massive. And I haven't woven in any ends yet. I know, before anyone comes at me, like, people always seem to be like, oh my God, the ends. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine, they'll get done. They'll get done once it cools down a little bit here. It's just so muggy and stuff here. I can't really hold this up very long because it's so heavy. So yeah, I'll just pop this back. I did put my cat's blanket on the sofa thinking, oh, it'd be really nice if she came and slept there. And she's gone out in the rain. So let's have a little look. Yes. Yeah. And yeah, I'm obsessed with crochet blankets. And I'm not actually going to be keeping that blanket. I'm going to be gifting that to someone, and I've decided who it's going to be gifted to in my family, and I'm not going to tell them yet. So yeah, they can have it for Christmas. It was using all of my scrap double knit yarn. Right, so let me know in the comments what else you would like me to chat about. If you have any questions, I can talk about hooks, I can talk about yarn. I've got all of my crochet books over there if you want some crochet book recommendations. Yeah, just let me know, lucky family member. Yeah, and I think they will like it as well. I watch some other podcasts as well, mainly knitting ones, because I'm not as good a knitter as I am crocheter. Let me just... And I watched someone called Common Thread Fibre, and her podcast, she is a Lord of the Rings fan, and she does Lord of the Rings and fantasy-inspired knitwear. And she says that to gift someone, they need to be knit-worthy. And I really love that. And I think that some people don't appreciate it. I've given gifts before and people have been like, cool. And I'm just like, but I know that this person will be really appreciative of it. So yeah, Linda, I'm making 3 blankets as Christmas presents at the moment, 1.5 done. Yeah, I have crocheted Christmas presents in the past. I've not done like things on the side of blankets. My sister has asked for a crocheted cardigan, and that kind of was what triggered me to design a cardigan. I'm thinking I might call it the sisterhood cardigan because it is inspired by her essentially, but with my own twist on it. So yeah. Do I subscribe to any other crochet YouTubers? My fave is TL Yarn Crafts. She is so nice. And I learned Tunisian crochet from her a couple of months ago. She has some really good Tunisian crochet tutorials. And it's something I had never got on with in the past until I tried her tutorials. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is magic. I can't believe that, like, it's taken me, like, I've been missing out. I felt like I'd been missing out until I tried her tutorials a few months ago. So yeah, TL Yarn Crafts. I'll put that in the chat as well. And then who else do I watch? Who else do I watch that crochets? Because it's mainly knitters that I thought that I do on YouTube, because I think with crocheters especially, I do know some. So I had a brainwave and I was like, I do, what am I talking about? I do. So Little John's Yarns. She's an American lady again, and she's just a really nice person, and her recorded live streams are just really lovely. And she's quite funny as well. And if she does a lot of like slippers and flip-flops and things like that. So I don't watch her tutorials, but I watch her Meet the Makers, which is where she interviews other crochet designers, which is kind of cool. And I actually went to her lives for the first time yesterday, and she interviewed Hooked by Katie, Kati, and she is known as the mother of crochet dragons because she designs amigurumi dragons essentially. And it was a really fun live stream. So yeah, Little John's Yarns is someone else I'd recommend. And my mum really likes Bonnie Bay Crochet. She does like, my mum says she does like crocheted cabled blankets, which is kind of cool. But I haven't actually watched any of her videos yet. She's on my list because I did see her speak at I went to a summit for crochet business owners a few weeks ago, and she spoke there, and that's where I discovered her essentially. And my mum, who has been learning to crochet, inspired by yours truly, the last sort of month or two, she really loves Bonnie Bay's crochet channel. So yeah, potentially a recommendation there. What other questions? We have a beautiful shop here in Portugal, so I'll order tomorrow. I will copy your colours in a soft mix. Seriously, stink choosing colours. I think a lot of people do struggle with choosing colours. It's not something that ever came naturally to me. I'm going to do a video where I go through all of my crochet blankets. So including my very first crochet project, which was a crochet blanket that I don't use because I didn't think too hard about the colours. I was just like, oh yeah, that one's pretty. Oh yeah, that one's pretty. Ordered it off the internet, it all came, and I was like, don't really like these all together, but I've ordered them now, so I'll just have to crochet this blanket. So I did, and I used it for a few months, and then I've just kept it ever since. And my friend actually adopted it for a couple of years and then gave it back. So it was almost like Disney princess colours, which isn't very me, and it was very, very green. So I think a lot of people do find colour choices difficult, and that's why a crochet along or just a pattern or a kit is good for people like that. But I always love to put my own stamp on things. I never make my projects in the recommended yarns because I really enjoy experimenting with colours, and it's taken me a long time to work out what colour combinations I like together and what colour combinations I don't like and what gives me the vibe I want. I think my vibe is very much autumnal. I like autumnal colours. I do love blue, don't get me wrong, I do love blue, but it has its place. I do crochet with blue as well. And I really love warm autumnal colours, and I really like vintage inspired colours as well. I really love like I don't really like avocado and colours like that, but like those sort of golden yellows and rusts and pinks together. That is my jam. That's the colours I love together, and I really love like mints and teals as well. So yeah. Put a link. I've bought some hooks. Oh, you bought some hooks. What hooks did you buy, Linda? I have some hook recommendations if anybody wants some hook recommendations. I really love I've got my little pen pot of crochet hooks here. I really love the Clover and More crochet hooks. They're just really smooth. I find the handles really comfortable and they're really easy to crochet with. They sort of glide through the yarn. So that's my recommendation. I've never ever liked plastic hooks in my life until I started using the Prim Ergonomics, and they're so nice to crochet with. I can't crochet with acrylic yarn with them because it squeaks, but I never realized that like a plastic crochet hook can glide through the yarn like almost as well as the metal. Like honestly, the handles are so comfortable as well. I can see why they call them ergonomic hooks. Like they're so comfortable. Honestly, if they did these with the Clover and More head, that handle with that head would be my ideal crochet hook. So yeah, I've also recently tried some Furls hooks, which are supposed to be like, well, they are like the most expensive hooks I've ever bought. One of them was £37 for one crochet hook, and I don't really like it, so I'm probably going to sell it. So yeah, I am going to do like a video where I rank my crochet hooks. So yeah. Oh, you bought some Tunisian crochet hooks. I have the Knit Pro, or if you're in other countries, I think it's called Knitter's Pride Knit Pro outside of Europe. I've got their ginger Tunisian crochet hook set, and I love them. They're so nice. I've got some more messages popping up. Recently found her also trying to learn Tunisian crochet. Yeah, I'm not going to go and rummage for it because I'll be gone for like 5 minutes. But I started a Tunisian crochet shawl that is going to be a YouTube tutorial because I sort of came up with a pattern myself. It's like a asymmetrical triangle shawl, and it fades between some different colours. I was really enjoying doing it, but now I'm doubting my colours. So it's gone in the naughty corner for the last 2 months, but it will get finished. But it's currently in the naughty corner. You might notice this with me is I'll be posting a project and like, oh my God, it's going really well. And it'll just disappear for a few months because I'm just like this. Sometimes my projects have to go in the naughty corner for a few months and then they come out and I work out why I don't like them and I fix it, or I just finish it as is. So yeah. Hi, Wilma. I know you said you might be able to come, so I'm so glad you managed to make it. Tatiana, will there be a video tutorial for how to join the hexagons? Yes, there will be. Thank you for reminding me. That wasn't in my notes. So yeah, so the day that the pattern comes out, which is next Saturday, I'm going to put up a video tutorial because in the pattern, I show you the layout of the layout of the hexagons, and then I say I crocheted them with whip stitch. You can use whatever method you prefer. Here is a video tutorial showing how I did it. And I legit filmed a video tutorial whilst I was joining the Hexadaisy blanket together. So yes, there is a video tutorial. And I even show you where to place your stitches to make sure it's all symmetrical because I'm a little bit anal about stuff like that. Like I like all my hexagons to all match up completely. So yeah, and I show you exactly where to put your needle to achieve that. So yeah, and it absolutely was not off topic, Tatiana. Anything crochet is on topic to me. Yay, I'm horrible at seaming. Yeah, I think that joining methods is something that there are so many options out there and they give so many different effects that sometimes it's hard to choose what one to use for your project. And I like knowing several different joining methods essentially, because having all those different tools in your sort of toolbox so you can apply them to different projects is really good. But I find hexagons. I did originally, when I first designed this blanket, it was going to be join as you go, but I just really wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with how it all lined up, and it just, I don't know why, it just didn't seem like the right fit to me. So I went back to a whip stitch join, which this hexagon blanket that's over the back of the chair, I use a whip stitch join for this one as well. And I think with hexagons, when you've got all these angles, like it's not a grid like a blanket of granny squares, you've got all those angles for the hexagons, like that's hard enough to deal with, let alone trying to do join as you go at the same time. So yeah, it's just a simple basic whip stitch, which is probably one of the easier joining methods in my opinion, because it's literally just put your needle through, put your needle through, put your needle through. So yeah, but I do have a sort of a video tutorial for that. So yeah. Catherine, will we need to block the hexagons? I don't usually block my blankets. I get asked a lot, do I block my blankets? I don't. I think it's because up until this point, most of my blankets have been 100% acrylic. And in my experience, blocking acrylic doesn't really work unless you use heat. So I wet block anything. I always block my knitting. I don't always block my crochet. If my crochet needs blocking, I tend to wet block it, and that works best with wool. So when you're working with something like acrylic, it's quite hard to block. It doesn't hold the block. So if you pin something out and spray it with water, or you wet it and then you pin it out, I find acrylic doesn't like to hold the block if you do that. So I tend not to. I often find that when you join your squares or your hexagons into the blanket, it sort of flattens them all out anyway. I am undecided because it is falling out of it. So basically, when I sewed my hexagons together, I did it slightly too tight and it started to ruffle. So I was really considering whether to block this, but I had it hanging over a door for a few days just to see if it would drop, if that ruffle would drop out, and it has. So I did not block this. I don't think I've ever blocked. Actually, I'm telling a lie, I did block my Sophie's Universe blanket. But apart from that, I haven't blocked a crochet blanket that I remember. So yeah, blocking, but you can block if you want. If you're, for example, using wool or a cotton and you like the look of blocked and you want it to be blocked, because what blocking does is it evens your stitches out and it does make things a bit more drapey. So for example, if you're using a cotton or a wool, it will sort of improve the drape and potentially the look of the blanket. So yeah, it's optional for blocking. I think I have some controversial opinions on blocking within the craft community, maybe within the knitting community, maybe not so much the crochet community, but I think blocking is great and it has its place. If you've got something that's maybe unevenly sized, or you want to block it so that it's more drapey, or it needs to be blocked because it's a clothing item, I think that then blocking does have its place. However, as someone who is chronically ill and often has days where they can barely get out of bed and get dressed, let alone block anything, the fewer high effort steps to me to finish my project, the better. So the idea of laying out a blanket and pinning it out, it feels really exhausting to me. And I've had a really good few days the last few days, and I have a feeling that might tip me over the edge. So yeah, I don't block. Sorry, you may disagree with me. If anybody does love blocking, put it down in the comments. I might have quite a I know I have a controversial opinion on this in the knitting world, because knitters are very pro blocking. And I do understand it with knitting because it really does even out your stitches. But yeah, I don't block, Sandy. Yeah, like honestly, so I knitted as a kid, and then I learned crochet sort of in my late teens. And then I went back to knitting a couple of years later and sort of learned all those, because when I was a kid, I could only do knit stitch. I couldn't purl. I couldn't work out what was wrong, why I couldn't purl. I know now why I couldn't purl. But yeah, so I do think that with knitting, in the knitting world, people are really pro blocking. I do block my knitting, but there are some things that have sat unblocked for many years. So yeah, that might be a little bit controversial. Right, I think we're closing in on 8 o'clock now. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate all of your ongoing support for Me Makes. So yeah, thank you for joining me. And maybe I will see some of you at the kickoff party next week. If you have any more questions, just either drop them down in the comments or bob me an email. So yeah, bye everybody. Bye.